What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one. In today's video, we are going to do a summary of the month and look forward to whether October is going to be, UPTOBER or REKTOBER. I think straight off the back, right, I've been taking a bit of downtime myself, and at this point, we're at a bit of a loggerheads. We're at a bit of a crossroads. The crossroads are basically saying to us, if there is no October pump, that's the end of the cycle, in my opinion. I don't think we go into 2026. I don't even think we go into December. Maybe we get a little pump in November, but I'm going off historical rhyme patterns, right? And when I go off historical rhyme patterns, it usually tends to be right. So last cycle in November 2021, that was the end of the cycle. And the cycle prior to that, if I remember correctly, it was technically December. At the end of December, there was a massive capitulation event. So you could say December, maybe January, but what I'm trying to get at was 2 cycles ago it was in December. Last cycle it was in November. Naturally, in my opinion, this cycle should end in October or at the start of November, like a starting wick. So that's where my 2 cents are right off the back. And if we look at this month already, it's not really done anything special on the monthly candles. So let's try to take our bias out of this, right? When we get wick candles like this, where we can't progress through, it usually does mean that we're near a top or at the top, especially for Bitcoin here. And that's why I'm so wary about, well, if we are going to see the top, are we at the top right now? And a lot of us are maybe thinking, well, it might not be a good time to short. A long-term short, if you were like doing a long-term short, like 2 to 3x on leverage, see where we pump up to next month, and then you could start layering into your shorts. For now, obviously, I'm still partly bullish. I feel that we're still coming back up into this dominance area. And I mean, I could even do the leg like this, right? So it could be something like this, or we could have the trend line like this. I've done it on the 4-hourly, but if you did it on the daily, you wouldn't be wrong either. And we're just bouncing, really. So if we look at, let's just ignore this one for now. Yeah, if we just see, we're just bouncing within here. So we could come back up to here. So you know what, I'll put an alert there. And we'll see if we get another bounce from there, and then we come back down. That's where we're ideally looking at here for alts to take the reign. Because at the end of the day, the reason why I'm saying alts will get another big pump is because of this right here. This was super damaging to the bears, and the RSI on the daily has not played out. So what does this mean? This means that any little flick coming down will fully send this to our region of about 48.74%. It might not look it now, but that's how fragile the Bitcoin dominance is. And if the RSI follows suit on the daily, this could get absolutely demolished, and alts can get that final grace saving grace, where it finally capitulates and alts get the mega pump that we've always wanted. And again, I'm speculating here based off technical analysis that if that RSI does get matched down, and if we look at one of the biggest alts after Bitcoin, 2018 all-time high there, 2021 all-time there. We've not hit a 25 all-time high up here on this trend line. So it does make me think like ETH has actually done nothing. If it were to go on a parabolic mission, it has to do something imminently. And I mean right now, because if we don't get any kind of momentum, this is just signaling that there's just massive exhaustion in the market. And I know I'm getting the bearish sentiments out of the way right now, but we have to be very realistic. And look, if we look at this blue turquoise trend line that we're sitting in, we're still bouncing off it. So we're still staying within structure, which is great. The spider line was still in the right pattern as well. This flag, you could almost say that we're still in the structure here too, because we're just bouncing off it. We're getting a back test. If this is a successful back test and we stay above, then hey, we're on our way. And even on the EMA ribbons, right, we finally reclaimed yesterday the 20 and the 50 EMA. Can we back test? If we back test, fantastic, then we can finally full send. If we can't back test, then we're in trouble. And the one thing that I highlighted already to you guys on my last post was about the CME gap. So there's a CME gap down here, starts from around 111k, but if we go into the kind of like zoomed in version, it comes all the way down here to 109k, and to fill the actual wick is 110.9k. So something to just be wary about. I'm not saying that we are going to come there like today or tomorrow, but when we have the CME gaps, we eventually will come and hit it. Whether we go on a parabolic, mission first, I don't know. I can't say for certain. If we do, that means we're going to hit that existing gap that's at around 118k to finish this, and then we can come back and collapse and go into the bear market. But even if we look at the parabolic pattern, the existing one, we've basically nearly hit X marks the spot at 130k. We've basically nearly hit it. There's not much left in the tank for Bitcoin at this stage, unfortunately. And again, alts are getting a bit of a slap today, and that's why I said just be wary with what you're doing. Like, everybody's getting really hyper yesterday that we pumped, and that's fine, but we are at the end of the month, and at the end of the month, you can get enticed into these candles where at the start of the month, which will be tomorrow for October, we could get a huge jump down and not bat an eyelid. And that's where we want to be. We want to see how the start of the month plays out. And if we go into the SPX, there's still a couple of gaps to the bottom. Just checking. Don't really call it. This hasn't really. There's still a bit of a gap to fill, which you could get filled today, tomorrow, whenever. So that's a bit of a minor gap. But overall, market conditions, they're saying different things, and it's hard for me to just say long or short. If I'm still playing with my premise of alt season, then I'm saying long. I'm not saying it concretely, but I'm definitely saying yes, long. And when we look at RSIs like this, for instance, this is now stampeded right into capitulation zone for the RSI to now recover. So this could be a good buy zone in a way. Normally, I like to look at the medium time frames to see if we can get, a little bounce or something. So on the 4 hour, for instance, we're now at the 100 EMA and we just blasted through the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. This could be a good back test, and that's what we're looking for. Back test, back test, back test. If we get the good back test, we're on our way. That's the only thing you need to worry about. And if I look on the wave patterns as well, for instance, the reason I was saying long down here when I initially had said it is because of this giving us a divergence here on the wave pattern. So don't know why this is acting up there. So we got the divergence and then we played it up. Now the wave pattern is signaling red, which means to short. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come all the way down, but just something to bear in mind. Now, this is the biggest signal for me on the daily. We've got 2 green dots. This is a divergence, and this is why, now I'm coming on to the bullish analysis, why I think this still has a bit more in the tank. I think Bitcoin has this one more leg into October, possibly into November, and then that's it, we're done. 2-day signaling, 3-day signaling, 4-day kind of signaling, and the 1 week we've kind of played out this weekly pattern. We want it to come up, give us that, the final burst, and then we'll start getting into the shorts. So I think shorts were about a couple, maybe like 4 weeks off before I want to start shorting. 5 weeks. Again, everything changes within a single week, so I can't say for certain. For now, I would be longing once we get to tomorrow. Sorry, I'm not going to long tomorrow, but I'm going to monitor from tomorrow what we look like on the start of the monthly candle. It could be that the monthly candle, we just go straight up, which will be, happy days for everybody. And in general, if we're looking at September, although it doesn't look like a bullish month, or it doesn't feel like a bullish month, actually, for Bitcoin, it has been a bullish month. For ETH, it's not been a bullish month. And if we look at a few alts, let's look at Brett, Pepe, Floki, all of them have not had bullish months whatsoever. Toshi's the only one, basically. So just something to bear in mind. And if we look at the fear and greed, we were, for a set period of time, at around fear at 32. And that was kind of the day I was saying to you guys, better to long here, like, what have you got to lose? If it's going to dump, it's going to dump. So we've come out of fear and we're back into neutral. And that does not necessarily mean that we're going to pump from here. We could come back into fear one more time and then take a bit of a pump. The only good thing that's on our side is the altcoin index, which is now at 64, which is, very bullish. Some of the top coins, market cap wise, are still doing very, very well. Some coins that I've not really looked at, like this Asta one, you know what, we can even just go back to that. So let's be real here. It's at 3 billion. And from my understanding, I swear it used to give you a breakdown of what it is. My understanding is that this is some type of DEX. So yeah, so it's a DEX. The only issue I have with this is, well, okay, it's a DEX on BNB from, again, what I understand. Let me just see markets. Yeah, it's just a DEX from what I understand. I could be wrong. Anyone can explain it to me. I've not done a lot of research. But very similar. What's the difference between, Pancake Swap on that? Like, I've used Pancake Swap for the past 5 years on BNB. It's by far the most superior DEX over every single DEX I've ever used, from Uniswap to Trader Joe, Pangolin. Some of these DEXs you guys probably haven't heard of. I've been using QuickSwap on Polygon. I've used so many DEXs in my life that nothing comes close to PancakeSwap. And I think the only person that I've seen who's been trading on there is Shane. So shout out to Shane. Again, I've not done a lot of research onto it, but I know this is one of the coins that a lot of people have been talking about. Hence why I'm just bringing it up. But regardless, where we want to be is positioning ourselves correctly and trying to get into these alts. Bitcoin at the moment, I just wouldn't even bother with. I'd be taking strong altcoins going into this last leg. And again, the ones that I'm looking at are these dino coins like Doge. Like, it's really done nothing. It's not really hit its all-time high. It's done nothing. So guys, that's where we are. Same with Litecoin. Litecoin's another one of those dino coins. To me, Ton is also getting shilled by what's his face, crash quite heavily. So again, these coins are ones that are coins that aren't and haven't hit their all-time high, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. The ones that have been, getting smashed quite a bit are the ones that were actually the front runners originally. So Troll's been getting quite hit. I wonder what happened to Useless. Yeah, Useless is getting quite hit. So look, they're moving though in a technical analysis format. So when we look at it from here, like, I would take a long at Useless from around here, or let a wick come down, because it's still conforming to the pattern as far as I can see. There's nothing negative about it, but it does tell me that it is coming down for another leg. So just a few things to be wary about. Again, I can't give you anything concrete because we're at the end of the month and we're about to start a new month. But I would say if we have fear in the market and we get hit quite badly, I will be taking out new positions for longs. All right, guys, that's it from me. I will catch you in the next one.